What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about ZBCN Zebec today. It is the 18th day of January, and here we are sitting at about $0.0034 with roughly 3 hours 52 minutes left in this day. I'm sorry, 5 hours 52 minutes left in this day. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it. So you're up a little bit on the day, 4.5%. That's exciting, right? Considering most cryptos are either down or just kind of not really up at all today. 4.5% is nice. It's a little bit of a bullish engulfing candle from yesterday. I don't know. Is that a bullish engulfing candle? I mean, you're closing above where the open was, but I don't know if that's a bullish engulfing candle. Still, it's nice. It's the highest daily candle close that we've had since, I mean, really since November 12th or 11th, since back here, right? Like if we close here, we're closing above that daily high close. So that in itself is pretty awesome. That's pretty stupendous, and it does represent this breakout, this measure move that we were expecting here from this bull flag. This bull flag from a low to a high, the expectation is that we go somewhere around 0038. We're at 0034 right now, so a little bit higher, right? We stopped just shy of that. It's the weekend. Things are typically boring over the weekend, but I do expect Monday, Tuesday to bring some life to ZBCN and the rest of the crypto markets. We might not even stop at 0038. We very well could push higher. But this is the area that I'm focusing on for now. I'd rather be pleasantly surprised than expecting this and then getting this. You know what I mean? I think this is a totally fine area, totally adequate area to go to. It matches. It lines up pretty well with our bull flag here. Lines up with that idea. It also lines up very well with this point of resistance back here, right? Right there, point of resistance, points of support going back in time. Support there, resistance there, support right there, support right there. Is this is not an area that goes back, right, because back here, your all-time high doesn't go up that high, so pretty significant area, You're at a significant area now too, wow. You're all the way back here at this point of resistance. Maybe that's why you're getting tied up right here, but I do suspect that we're going to continue to grow. I want to look at the short-term stuff and then zoom out from there, okay? I didn't realize I drew 3 lines. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame and then we'll zoom out from there. The RSI is rejecting the overbought zone, and that's not a good look, honestly. You've rejected it once, twice, 3 times now. So you've rejected it before and still gotten higher highs. I mean, that makes it a little bit less intimidating, though I don't like this look in all fairness just because of the lower high dynamic we're getting. But again, 3 times rejecting the overbought zone, you got to assume that one of these attempts you're going to break through it here. I don't know. Do we have any other iterations that look like that? Let's just see. Here you're finding kind of consistent resistance here, and you went down. But not terribly, right? You still had a higher low overall. So what if we go down from here? Cool. We'll bounce later. Cool off the indicator, let the price just chill, and then we'll pump later at the worst. Stochastics look a little bit bearish and tied up here as well. The MACD has a little bearish divergence. I mean, we could pull back a little bit from here. Maybe because it's Sunday, we close out the week like this. Tomorrow opens up a new week. We move down to start the week off on a down note, and then we move up going into the rest of the week to leave a wick behind. I mean, typically, you look at these weekly time frames, typically, the green weeks do have some type of a wick below them, which means early in that week, likely early in that week, they went down first and then came back up. It's not that that has to happen, but you look at any green week here. I mean, I don't think Zebec has a single green week other than this one that didn't have a wick to some degree below it, right? Even here, a little bit. So between today and tomorrow, I'm expecting a little bit of a pullback based off what we're seeing here on the 1 hour time frame. I think that makes sense. And that form of analysis, I make sure to make a point out of this every single time I say this. This is not real analysis saying, okay, next week I expect the week to be green, therefore Monday, Tuesday we drop and then we recover the rest of the week. That's not real analysis. It's like a superstition. It just happens to be a superstition that is backed by statistical probabilities, okay? But still, it is a superstition. It's like the idea that if you flip a coin 10 times and it lands on tails, the next time you flip it, it has to land on heads. It's 50% every time, right? That the chances of moving up or moving down, they're more or less the same, quote unquote, every day. It doesn't matter if it's the beginning of the week or not. I shouldn't say that, actually. I feel like movements do revolve around the beginnings and the ends of the week sometimes. But as far as directional heading goes, nobody knows, are we going up, are we going down in this next minute, in this next hour? We can always guess, right? In that sense, we have an up or down kind of probability. And with that, we could open up a new week and just move up and have no wick at all to the downside. because there's that probability that we just move up, and then if we do move down, it's not down enough. We just have a week that's completely green with no wick to the downside at all. But statistically speaking, that doesn't really happen, right? It's a superstition. I don't know. I'm getting lost in the shenanigans of this, the semantics of this, but I just want to be clear because I've brought this up as a point before, and though it is true, most of the time when you have green weeks, you do have wicks to the downside. That doesn't necessarily mean that you should use that as like a end-all be-all in your analysis, but that line of thinking does line up pretty well with this here. I don't know how many of you are still around, but if you are, hit that like button, subscribe. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. 4-hour time frame here. Looking at this, we are rejecting the overbought zone. There's a little bit of bearish divergence. Let's use something with volume. Bybit. There we go. Yeah, less volume on this move up. I don't like it. It's fun. It's nice. I'm glad that we're up 4.5% on the day. Great. Looks like you're going to reject here and come down. Bearish divergence on all indicators. Less volume moving up. It's not real. It's on the weekend. It's not real. So you're probably going to come down. With that being said, you do have this kind of M shape. You could go below this low. In what I was assuming to be a very kind of mild, non-dramatic kind of drop. Maybe just a slow shift down and then we pump up. It could be that. Maybe we find support at prior resistance here. Maybe. We also could be getting set up for something that would take us down a little bit lower. How much lower does it go? I don't know. I'm kind of thinking, you know, higher lows here. We would come somewhere around this area. But we could go lower than that even. I have a hard time imagining Zebec gets below 0.003 again. If it happens, I'm not panicking. I'm not worried. But I'm a little bit more open to the idea of this pulling back further than I initially thought. With that being said, it's completely acceptable. It's completely possible to just find support here at prior resistance right there. However little time that you spent there. Barely move down, and then we get ready to move up as well. Maybe we're just not seeing a lot of volume here, not because we're going to pull back, but because we're not ready. We're going to consolidate, and then boom, then we'll pop. I think that would be a very bullish look if we could hold this 0033 area as support. But it's not a problem if it doesn't, okay? If it doesn't hold, if 0033 doesn't hold the support, and I think it was more like 00331, 332. If it doesn't hold the support, then I would say we go down to about 003. We probably find support there, and then we bounce. All in all, we're waiting to get overbought. I mean, you look good here. Stochastics look good. MACD looks good on the daily time frame. Weekly time frame looks great. You look ready to go. We're just waiting. I've been saying this now. I think this is the third week in a row. Maybe this is. I think this is the third week. The first week that I said this was here. That I've been saying the next on the list for a pump is ZBCN. And this is not the pump. I mean, so far I guess that worked out pretty well over the past 3 weeks. Yes, you've been moving up. How much are you up from the low? You moved up 53% overall. It's pretty crazy. It doesn't feel like you're up 50% over the past 3 weeks, but you are technically from your low point. But I think that things are going to pick up. The pace is going to pick up, and we're going to see this thing break out of this overall range here. It's going to break out and take us all the way up to about 3 to 4.5 cents. That's the expectation. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'm expecting this sometime in March, probably, if not April. All right. Bye-bye.